Hey everyone, Once Bitten here with the final game of the Buckeye Battles tournament. Game 5, my Beastmen versus an Empire player. 2,400 points, and the scenario in this is just kind of not really there. It's kind of like get your game done on time and complete a rear charge and just some odds and ends, stuff like that. So for the most part, it is just a pitched battle, and the pictures here, this is the same table I had in my second game, which is funny because, again, there's almost 50 tables available and I get the same table twice. It really doesn't take good pictures because of the white background. So bear with it. The whole battle report has bad pictures, but there's a detachment of archers on the right, unit of halberdiers, and then he's got a detachment of swordsmen. And with these halberdiers, he's got his wizard lord and his witch hunter. And then now he placed that first, which really suckered me into putting all my stuff in the lower right hand corner, and then he put everything else over to the middle, even on the far side of middle. So Pistoliers, 2 units of Demigryph Knights with a musician each, 10 Inner Circle Knights with his battle standard bearer as well as his general, and they've got the standard of discipline. So I believe their leadership 10, possibly 9, but I think 10 re-rollable within 12-inch radius. A cannon, a steam tank, if you look in the upper left. There's another cannon, and then he's just got a level 1 wizard. Because he has Lore of Metal, it's really not much of a threat to me. He could have put him more towards my Doom Bowl and maybe got something, but he just hit him. So I've put my Harpies down first, of course. I've got a Harpy unit way over here on the left, then another Harpy unit just right of center, and then all my stuff starts. I totally castled in the corner. So I've got a Tuscarora Chariot, Horde of Bestigor, my Horde of Gore, which is in bus formation, and then my Minotaurs and my Doom Bull. You should be used with all the builds by now. One thing you'll notice is that my level 2 is with my Bestigor. Because this, I knew I was going against, he had cannons and such. I decided to keep that smaller unit of Gore as an ambush unit. So, I was none too happy when I realized that I fell for his trick and I put everything in the right. I really need to go first so I can zoom forward. If I can isolate this Halberdier unit and kill it, and it's the 2 characters in there, that'll net me a bunch of points and will kind of force him to come to me. But if he gets to go first, he might be able just to run away. My plan, though, is to rush forward with my rightmost 2 units, and my Bestigors, I don't need to rush forward. I like them as a counter to his Demigryph Knights and his Inner Circle Knights. So I really like for them just to hold my left flank and just maybe wheel around, but not necessarily march up very quickly. As luck would have it, Empire got to go first, and he did what I feared he would, which would be the smart thing. One, he left his archers there to bait my Minotaurs. He moved his swordsmen up just to sacrifice themselves. Did a reform with his halberdiers, turned towards his main line, and from now on he is just going to march. Otherwise, here he really just kind of turns. Yeah, comes up, shoots at my harpies, doesn't do anything. So his first cannon put a cannonball right through my minotaurs. My Doom Bull passed his Lookout Sir test, and it wounded all 3. And because they're monstrous infantry, he has to actually kill it, or else if he just wounds one, it'll stop the cannonball there. But he rolled at least 3 wounds for all three of them. So they were dead. Now I'm nervous. Luckily, his other cannon misfired and got taken off the table, which really saved me some stress. And his steam tank wasn't able to do anything. So I don't need my Minotaurs to win the game, but I really would rather them not die to cannon fire turn 1 or turn 2. So, yeah. So we go to Beastman turn 1. I move the Minotaurs up as far as I can. And then I don't want to march through that lake-looking area because I'll take dangerous terrain tests. So I have my BSB's unit marching just outside of it, and my Bestigor unit just doing regular movement, going right through it, and that works with my plan because I don't need them to go as quickly as my other units. Here we go. There's that side. My Harpies get a charge in his Pistoliers, and I'm pretty confident about that, but you never know. And my other unit of Harpies flies up as much as possible. It looks like next turn I should get an easy charge in his cannon. I was thinking about charging his level 1 wizard just to get the points, but in this tournament, hills block line of sight. So even though I could see him, I couldn't see him. Then during the magic phase, Lore of Beasts I really like, but it really doesn't have a whole lot of great things going for me here. I had the Amber Spear, which I think I cast and he like dispelled it or something. I had some extra dice, so I went ahead and turned my level 2 into a Mountain Chimera. I was thinking, in his phase he'll probably dispel it, but that will pretty much give me his magic phase because I'll have enough dispel dice at that point to stop whatever he has. And it didn't cost me much to cast it. I didn't get sucked into the warp or anything. And then over here, yeah, I had a charge and did 2 wounds, but he did 2 wounds on me and he stuck. And this was kind of weird because when it was over, I very sloppily just reached forward and said, I'm pushing my guys together because when I charged in there, I don't push them together just because I'm going to remove them as casualties anyway. Well, when I did it very sloppily, as you can see, and so his demigriff unit can see one of the harpies, even though he wouldn't have been able to see if I actually put him touching the way I said I was going to do it. So not a big deal, but I was kind of saying, you can't see me. I'm 20 millimeters wide or 25 wide. I was middle to middle. You can't see me. And he just kind of looked down. He's like, I can see you. So I was like, okay, my mistake. Don't be sloppy. So we go to Empire turn 2. If I'm on the far left, his Demigriff Knights charge my Harpies. His Halberdiers run towards his general as quickly as they can. Yeah. His steam tank takes 3 wounds on its, I guess, misfire or whatever. So I definitely appreciated that. And then after combat, yeah, he just wiped out my Harpies. His 2 Pistoliers are left. They are, as you can see them, his Demigriff Knights actually turn around to face my Harpies. The rightmost one isn't turned around right now, but it should have been. And my assumption there is that if my Harpies fail their charge in the cannon, he can countercharge them, and it's not going to hurt his battle plans because these guys are so mobile. He can get them back into the fray if he needs them. So, pretty smart move there. We go to Beastmen turn 2, and a lot of weird things happen here. One, my ambushing unit, I roll a 1 for it, so my opponent gets to decide what table edge it comes in on, and so he put it on my table edge, so I brought him up. As you can see him, and I went ahead and reformed my Bestigor to make it so they were just had more ranks, and it made more room for my guys to come in next to him. The Mountain Chimera I charged out at his fast cav, as did my chariot. I was kind of hoping his fast cav would fail their terror test and run, and then I was going to try to charge the back of his Demigriff Knights, which just would have been awesome. When he stuck, I thought it was even better because I have a better chance of getting into the fight, and then I can overrun and be in the rear of his Demigriff Knights. And I'd love to see what a Mountain Chimera would do to them. But anyway, my Chimera failed its charge, so yeah, he's just sitting out there on his own. The chariot's going to wipe out the Pistoliers. He's going to overrun to the rear of the Demigriff Knights, and that might work for me because I'll probably win combat. He'll be steadfast, and if it doesn't, it's going to cost me the chariot, but that's okay. What else is he going to do? Yep, so he wins. During the magic phase, I was able to get the Curse of Honor here off on the Demigriffs, so they're -1 to hit, which is something. So they don't get stomp against me. They're -1 to hit. So he shouldn't do too many wounds. I'll have a charge in the rear, and hopefully I'll win, and he'll fail his steadfast roll. I think he's probably leadership 8. He is too far away from his general or his BSB, so I think, wow, I actually have a decent chance of killing these guys and running them down. Over on the right-hand side, my Minotaurs charged the archers, made short work of them, and overran d6. And we go to Empire turn 3. Overall, it looks like that. He moves his swordsman up just to make it so my Gore cannot really do anything except to charge him, and I'm okay with that. Otherwise, it looks as you can see. He's just kind of hanging back. Kind of curious how he's going to get his halberdiers around his general's unit. During the magic phase, he gets a comet off, and so puts it right there among my stuff. During the shooting phase, a cannon puts 4 wounds on my Mountain Chimera, so that's fine as long as I can get into a fight with him as a Mountain Chimera. But otherwise, as soon as he turns me back, I'm going to be dead. So after combat here, I did 1 wound to him. His 1-up armor save is just tough to get past. He did 1 wound to me. I won by several. He passed a steadfast turnaround. So, yeah, he's going to kill my chariot now. We go to Beastman turn 3. I really, again, wanted my Mountain Chimera to force somebody to fail a terror test, but the only, the demigryphs on the left were in combat, so they weren't going to have to take a panic test or a terror test, and the ones where they are had leadership and reroll nearby. So went ahead and charged them there. I kind of know this plan isn't going to work, but I thought I'd go for it anyway. So the Chimera charges, my Gore charge. Yeah, that looks pretty, but I've got a magic phase in which he can dispel it if I roll high enough on the Winds of Magic. And the problem is, I don't have any spells to cast that are going to be worth anything to him more than dispelling this Mountain Chimera. So I can get off whatever spells I want, but I don't really want them. What I want is for this thing to stay. So I would love to have rolled Snake Eyes or maybe a 3 or 4 on the Winds of Magic. As luck would have it, I rolled like a 10. The Harpies get their charge in the cannon, so that's nice. Yeah, the Gore charge. These guys. Yeah, during the magic phase, he dispels Mountain Chimera. My level 2 immediately dies because I had 4 wounds on him. And at the end of the phase, it looks like that. The one thing I do, the Gore Horde beat the Swordsman very easily. There's only one left. I did not pursue him. I just reformed. So I have something like a battle line. And I'm not unhappy with my position here. I've got my Minotaurs coming up on the right. I do not want my Doom Bull in against any unit with his General, because his General has Van Horstrom's Speculum, and I do not want him switching out his stats with my Doom Bull. But I'd love to get those Minotaurs in with the Halberdiers, or my Doom Bull alone and the Halberdiers would be awesome. I like my Bestigor matched up with his Demigryph Knights or his Inner Circle Knights. So either of those things I go with. I feel like at this point, we're turn 3. He's not devastating me in points, and he's had all the advantages so far. Now we're closing to combat, and it should go my way. Although, famous last words. So we go to Empire turn 4. Yeah, kind of a surprising movement phase. One, he charges Demigryph Knights into my Horde of Gore. I really don't know what to think of that because I've never played against Demigryph Knights before. He's played with them a lot, obviously. My thinking is he'll almost certainly win, and I'll almost certainly be steadfast on a 9 rerollable. Then I can countercharge with my Doom Bull, and I'm pretty sure make pretty short work of that unit. So, and plus I have so many Strength 4 attacks. He'll be on a 2-up armor save, but I'll get enough in that I think I'll whittle him down and eventually win that. Although I do think the Demigryphs will hold my guys up for a long time. So very curious how that's going to pan out. Over here, his Demigryph Knights charged my small unit, and I held because he was so far away, and he failed it, thank goodness. Because he would have made short work of that unit. And over here, he really had no way of getting his Halberdiers around his general, so he just turned his general's unit around to buy more space for his Halberdiers. So after combat, oh, if you were an Empire player, this had to frustrate you. He had 4 Demigryph Knights charge into my Horde of Gore, and he did 2 wounds. I I would not have believed it had I not seen the dice rolls myself. That's the kind of thing I do. And that's including stomp attacks, everything. He only did 2 wounds. Absolutely crazy. I did a few wounds on him. We broke him, and I couldn't run him down. Had I run him down, he had really been in trouble because now this was his turn. So on my turn, I can start charging stuff, and he's got the rear of those halberdiers right there. And at this angle, it looks like they would probably go off the table. So very, very happy with how that turned out. But again, it's my turn next, so those Demigryph Knights are gone because I'll just charge them and push them right off the table. Over here, my Harpies are still fighting that cannon. Oh my gosh, guys. Kill the thing. We go to Beastmen turn 4. I move up here on the left, as you can see. Now, because he turned his general's unit around, I don't have to worry about him charging anything. So the only thing that could charge anything are his Demigryph Knights on the left. I want them to charge my Bestigor. He's in my front. I made sure during my movement phase that he was. I don't want him to charge the bottommost unit, but if he does, I'll flee, and he's so far away, I think he'll fail it. Here at the top, so I charge, my Horde charges Demigryph Knights, and it doesn't push them off the table. They go just a few inches, and I can't get around them to charge the Halberdiers, so I just complete the charge there, then take a leadership test to reform. And it was a wonderful swing of luck, so I'm not going to complain about it when I beat the Demigryph Knights in combat. But here, it's rough, because now, when I charge him on my next turn, the angle's not right. Now he can flee and just stay on the table. So over here it looks like that. Yeah, my harpies finally decide to kill the cannon, and they just kind of reform. On his next turn, in case I forget to say it, but his general's unit is just going to charge my harpies, and I flee just to save time because I knew he was going to kill me anyway. And so his general just has a failed charge with his rear facing my gore horde. So we go to Empire turn 5. His Demigryph Knights charge my small unit of gore. I flee. He tries to redirect my best of gore, and he fails. He takes his Witch Hunter. See if we have a close-up picture. Yeah, there's the flee. Takes his Witch Hunter out of the Halberdiers to act as a speed bump, and then he takes his level 4 out of the unit, and then he just turns his Halberdiers to take a charge should it come to him. During the magic phase, remember the comet he got off a long, long time ago? It finally went off and killed about, I don't know, 12 or so of my Bestigors. We go to Beastman turn 5, and so my Bestigors charge his Demigryph Knights, and again, I mean, that's the matchup I need. If my Bestigor can't handle his Knights, then nothing I have can. My Horde of Gore charge his Witch Hunter, and he flees through his Halberdiers, easily passes his panic test, and so then I charge his Halberdiers, and they flee and bounce through the Witch Hunter, his general, the steam tank, and they go safely all the way to the other side. And I take the back bow to his level 4. I think his level 4 stayed in the unit. So here's my charge here. Again, I think I'll win, but if nothing else, I'll be steadfast for a while. And I am strength 6, and if I can get Weisson's wild form off, which I plan on doing, I'll be strength 7, toughness 5. So it'll be very tough for him to wound me, and I'll cut through that armor pretty easily. So here's a look at all his fleas. You notice his all his fleas. His steam tank is at 5 wounds. He had another misfire, so that's the reason the steam tank hasn't been doing that much to me, because it keeps on hurting itself. After combat, we win. I reform, so I can just get more attacks in. I put a toughness buff on my Great Brave Shaman, so he's toughness 8, because I didn't want my opponent getting easy points by killing him. And then I got the +1 strength and toughness buff off. So it looks like I did 5 wounds to him, and I don't know how many he did to me, but whatever. I really kind of think that I should chop him up the next round of combat. Go to Empire turn 6. He just turns to face me. I've only got 1 turn left now. I feel like I'm trying to get to him, and he's just trying to not get into combat. I'm not sure I can blame him. So there's the Witch Hunter rallied and is now acting again as a speed bump. And over here, yeah, we chopped him up enough, and then we just simply won combat, broke him, and I rolled an 11. So not only did I catch the Demigryph Knight, it put me up far enough that now I could charge the flank of his Halberdiers. And when I charge in there, I know that I'm likely going to win combat, and no matter what I do, he's going to be steadfast, high leadership, rerollable. So I charge in anyway. My Horde of Gore charged the Witch Hunter. Finally, we have a good picture. Finally, the lighting was right. Yeah, so we charge in. I kill a bunch. I win combat by a bunch. He's steadfast. He sticks. We get the Witch Hunter. Yeah, I mean, that dude's going to die. And at the end of the game, it looks like that. So I actually got a victory for it. I got very, very few of I got about half of the extra points possible. It wasn't a decisive victory just because I couldn't kill enough stuff because he spent the whole game running away from me. But the Demigryph Knights netted me a lot of points. I ended up getting 16 battle points for this game, which put me at 90 out of a possible 125, which put me in 4th place in terms of best general, and it gave me 2nd place overall because of painting and sportsmanship and stuff like that. So, yeah, it was a real fun tournament for me. I mean, all 5 players were just great guys to play against. They were all really nice. I felt that the matchups were favorable for me. That there were some builds and lists that any list you bring, you're always going to have lists out there that counter it very well. And the ones I faced, I don't think were wonderful counters to the type of list I brought. So you can't complain about that. I felt in a lot of the games I made huge mistakes and spent the rest of the game trying to make up for them and coming back. So, note to self, don't make mistakes early in the game and you won't have to work so hard to come back from them. But anyway, that was tournament. I really don't know when I'm going to get future games in because I live somewhere new and I'm not familiar with the gaming scene all that much yet. But hopefully I'll be able to get some games up in the near future.